Hey there, wonderful matrix. Welcome to Educate. Today we're going to do biological terms in the endocrine system topic. So now here, this is a combination of at least the most possible biological terms that would probably come out in your June exams, as well as your September, as well as your final exams. So starting with 2.1, you have to always read the statement, give the correct biological term for each of the following description. Write only the term next to the question number. It must only be one word. It must not be a statement or a phrase. So 2.1 says, a gland whose secretions are transported through blood streams. Remember that we have got two types of glands here in life sciences. We have got endocrine glands as well as exocrine glands. So remember that the exocrine glands, their secretions or the fluids that are produced by the exocrine glands, they are sent or they are transported through the ducts, whereas the endocrine glands, they are the ones that secrete hormones, and those hormones are transported through the bloodstream. So for 2.1, we are going to say that we have got an endocrine gland. So a gland whose secretions are transported through ducts is known as an endocrine gland. And then now 2.2, a system. Now we're talking about a system that is responsible for chemical coordination in the body. So now we're talking about the system that is responsible for chemical coordination. Basically, chemical coordination is all about hormones. Hormones being transported or being released by glands so that they can do certain functions, and that is all part of what we call the endocrine system. So the endocrine system, it is the one that is responsible. It is the one that is responsible for chemical coordination or for regulating chemical properties, for regulating chemical processes through hormones. And 2.3, a hormone that stimulates ovulation in humans. Remember that ovulation is a process that happens on day 14 in females particularly. So that is when an ovum, it is being released from a mature Graafian follicle. So basically we know that this is actually stimulated by the luteinizing hormone. Remember, these are biological terms. Do not write LH. This is luteinizing hormone. So this is luteinizing hormone. So this is the hormone that stimulates ovulation, or that causes the ovum to be able to burst from a Graafian follicle. Now, the process of maintaining a constant internal environment in the human body. So it just means that when something is in excess, or maybe when there is a lot of something in your body, it needs to be reduced, or maybe when there is less of something in your body, it needs to be increased. And we know that that process of maintaining that constant internal environment, in many cases, we say it is known as homeostasis. So homeostasis, it is that process whereby the internal conditions of the body are kept constant through certain mechanisms. And then now, a gland whose secretions are transported through ducts. Remember, I've already said that the endocrine glands, the secretions or the fluids that are produced by the endocrine glands, they are sent to the blood. But the ones that are secreted by the exocrine glands, they are sent through ducts. Okay, so endocrine, it is bloodstream, whereas exocrine gland, it is through ducts. So this gland is known as an exocrine. So this is known as an exocrine gland. And then 2.6, a hormone that stimulates the mammary gland to produce milk. Remember, we only have got one hormone that causes the mammary glands, which are found in the breast of a lady, or of a mother. So basically, the mammary gland it is stimulated to produce milk once a female gives birth. So basically, that name of the hormone is known as prolactin hormone. So it is known as prolactin hormone. So prolactin, basically, it is secreted by the pituitary glands as well. And then now the hormone that is responsible for osmoregulation in the body, most of you often did it in grade 11. Remember, osmoregulation, it is the control of the water levels in the body, and it is secreted. It's a hormone, the hormone that controls the water levels when you are dehydrated or maybe when you're overhydrated. It is ADH, but these are biological terms. You don't write just ADH, you write antidiuretic hormone. These are biological terms, you must write in full. So this is antidiuretic hormone, and this is a hormone that is secreted by the hypothalamus. Now 2.8, the specialized cells in the pancreas that secrete insulin and glucagon. Remember that insulin and glucagon are involved in the regulation of sugar levels. So when there's a high amount of blood glucose levels or there's a lower amount of blood glucose levels, those specialized cells that are found in the pancreas, they're the ones that will secrete the hormones insulin as well as glucagon to be able to regulate the sugar levels. And the cells that are specialized to do that function that are found in the pancreas are known as the islets of Langerhans. So this is the islets of Langerhans. So those are the specialized cells. But when they ask the organ that secretes insulin and glucagon, they're just going to say it's pancreas or the part. But when they say the specialized cells, you must be specific that inside the pancreas we find the islets of Langerhans and they secrete insulin and glucagon. 2.9, a hormone that is responsible for maintaining salt balance in the blood. Remember that the salt balance is maintained by a hormone that is secreted by the adrenal gland. Okay, remember basically when there's a high amount of salt, basically the kidney has to be involved. So basically we do have this hormone that is known as aldosterone. So the hormone aldosterone hormone, it is the hormone secreted by the adrenal gland of the kidney. Okay, the adrenal gland that is found on top of a kidney, and it is the one that maintains a constant salt balance in the body. And then now 2.10, now we want a hormone. Okay, 2.9 was actually 2.10. Okay, a hormone that is responsible for secondary sexual characteristics in males. Remember, when you are reaching puberty, when you're a male and you reach puberty around 13 years or 12 years, that is when testosterone plays a role. So it basically plays a role by helping you to develop secondary sexual characteristics. So for 2.9, which is actually 2.10 for this case, it is testosterone. So this is testosterone hormone. All right, cool. And then 2.11, a gland that secretes follicle stimulating hormone, FSH and LH in females. Remember that FSH and LH, we say they're known as pituitary hormones, is because they are secreted by the hypophysis or by the pituitary gland. Remember, the pituitary gland, it is the master gland, and it has got 5 hormones that it secretes, including FSH and LH. So you can say it is the pituitary gland. So basically, for someone who would have said hypophysis, they are still correct as well, because remember the pituitary gland, it is also known as the hypophysis, and it secretes those 5 hormones. And then now we have got now 2.12. So 2.12 asks us this. So 2.12, if we read it carefully, it says chemical messengers that are produced by endocrine glands. Remember, endocrine glands, they produce hormones basically. So when we're talking about chemicals or chemical messengers that are produced by endocrine glands so that they can do certain functions in your body, those are known as hormones. So whenever you hear chemicals or chemical messengers, we are talking about the hormones. And 2.13, now a gland that is located on the neck, in the neck, and it secretes thyroxine hormone. So basically, we've got a gland here at the neck. Remember here, your voice box, it is actually housing the gland that is known as the thyroid gland. So the thyroid gland, it is responsible for secreting or for producing thyroxine hormone. So the gland that is found at the neck is known as the thyroid gland. So it is known as the thyroid gland. And then now after that we have got 2.14. A hormone that controls the metabolic rate in the body. Remember, the metabolic rate is primarily controlled by the thyroxine, because basically the thyroxine hormone that is secreted by the thyroid gland, it is the one that is mainly regulating the metabolism of the cells. So basically, the answer here is going to be thyroxine. And then 2.15. Now 2.15 asks us a hormone that increases. Now we are being specific that the control here is the increase. So basically a hormone that will increase the blood glucose level in the body. Remember that we increase blood glucose levels when there is a need to. When is there a need for you to increase blood glucose levels? It is when they are low. So basically here we're talking about the hormone that acts when they are low blood glucose levels, so that it can increase them again. So basically that hormone is known as glucagon, and the glucagon, it is secreted, remember, the hormone glucagon, it is secreted by the islets of Langerhans of the pancreas. Basically the glucagon will stimulate glycogen in the liver to be converted to glucose, and that will increase the blood glucose levels in the body again. And then 2.16 asked a hormone that lowers the blood glucose level in the body. So now we're looking at a hormone that decreases. So basically, when do you need to lower the blood glucose level in the body? So you need to lower the blood glucose level in the body when there's a lot of glucose, when there's too much glucose. So basically, the hormone, it is still secreted by the islets of Langerhans of the pancreas. So basically, that hormone is known as insulin. So insulin, basically, it converts the glucose in the high glucose in the blood to be glycogen, and it stores it in the liver. Okay, it just stores it in the liver in another form known as glycogen. Okay, I hope that's clear. And then 2.17 promotes the secretions of hormones produced by thyroid glands. So which hormone causes a thyroid gland to be able to secrete hormones? Because basically, remember that the thyroid gland actually secretes the hormone thyroxine. Remember, according to question 2.18, we've said that the thyroid gland secretes the hormone thyroxine. So basically, what hormone promotes the thyroid gland to secrete thyroxine? So basically, we want a hormone that causes a gland to secrete another hormone. So remember that we have a hormone that stimulates the thyroid gland to secrete thyroxine, and that hormone, it is known as the thyroid stimulating hormone. Do not write short term like TSH. These are biological terms. Write full answers. It is not TSH. It is the thyroid. It is the thyroid stimulating hormone. So it is the one that causes the thyroid gland to be able to secrete thyroxine. It is the one that causes the thyroid gland to be able to release or to produce and release the hormone thyroxine. And then now 2.18, a mechanism that detects imbalances and restores the balance. Don't confuse this with the homeostasis. Remember, a homeostasis, it is just the balance. Okay, we're just talking about the maintaining of a constant internal environment. That is a homeostasis. That's homeostasis, that process. Okay, but basically here, when we're talking about a mechanism that will detect when there's an imbalance. Let's just say, for example, you have got a lot of water in your body, you are overhydrated. What hormone will be the one that detects that? What mechanism, of course, will be the one that will detect that you have got a lot of water and you need to reduce? It is known as a negative feedback mechanism, because it will give feedback to a gland that will fix the imbalance. Okay, so for example, if you eat a lot of chips on a hot day, you have got a lot of salt levels in the blood. So basically, the negative feedback mechanism will be able to detect that your blood has got a lot of salt, and then it will contact the adrenal gland, so that it releases aldosterone, so that it reduces the salt levels in the blood. So here, this mechanism that detects and fixes the problem, it is the negative feedback mechanism. Make sure that you don't confuse this with the process of homeostasis. So it's the negative feedback mechanism. And then now 2.19, the last question, a hormone that is responsible for growth and development in the body. So basically, when you are young, basically you have to grow and become old and stuff like that. So your body becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. What stimulates the cells to become bigger and bigger, or the cells to elongate, or the cells to make you bigger? Of course, when you are growing, it's your cells that are actually growing. So basically, the hormone there that is responsible for growth and development in the body, it is basically known as the growth hormone. Don't write GH, it is growth hormone. Remember, these are biological terms. You need to get the full marks. So this is a growth hormone. Remember that the growth hormone, it is one of the 5 glands that are secreted by the master gland or by the pituitary gland, the hypophysis, of course. So when you are asked to mention the 5 hormones that are secreted by the pituitary gland, you talk about growth hormone, you talk about FSH, you talk about LH, you talk about many hormones, thyroid stimulating hormone as well. You talk about what else? The prolactin. Those five. So if you have those 5, you know the master gland, which is the hypophysis. Basically, the hypophysis, it is known as a master gland because it secretes the most hormones compared to other glands. So thank you, wonderful Matrix, for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to also stay tuned.